Okay, folks, I have started a little bit early and I don't know if anybody's actually going to show up. I'm also streaming through StreamYard and I haven't used this before for YouTube, so I don't really know how to see if anybody's in the room. Oh, there's a viewer. Okay, I can see that there's a viewer. That might just be me. Okay, I think I know where the comments are, so I'm just just kind of hoping to wing this and see how this goes. So, hi, there's a person here. So anybody who comes into the live or watches this in the replay, that's the word I want. It's Wednesday night. I'm kind of tired, so I apologize if I have mild lapses in my ability to speak. We'll see how this goes. But I do have some. I have some random questions here. Hi, Nicole. How are you this evening? Assuming it's evening where you are. I'm in Virginia, in the U.S., so it's about 5 minutes after 7 here in the States on the East Coast. But yeah, I do have some. I have some Q&A questions that I can do if there's not a lot of chat going on, just so it's not me sitting here doing nothing. So, hope you are doing well this evening, Nicole, and anybody else who might be watching. I just realized that I probably should have left my paper up. Oh well. Let's get to this. So, just a little bit of chatty stuff before I get going. I am using Patty Wax for the first time, and yeah, I'm having some difficulties. Okay, it's super sticky. I don't know if anybody has used Patty Wax before. This is my first time. I got some samples from my friend Rachel of Rachel Ray Craft. So I'm trying this out and I'm noticing that this is much stickier than I had expected. So I might actually have to switch out and go back to my regular pink wax. Nice to meet you too, Yvonne. Or is it Yvonne? I never know how to say that, if it's like an E sound or a Y sound. Oh, you're in Connecticut. Okay. I haven't been to Connecticut before, but I've been, I think, as far north as Boston is where I have been. Or is Vermont farther north? Regardless, that's about the extent of the traveling that I've done up in that area. But my former boss, now friend, is from Connecticut, or he's from New England, New Hampshire. I always get it wrong. I apologize. Oh, this wax is sticking. Okay. Not only is it sticky, but it's sticking to some of the diamonds. I've heard that you kind of have to, you have to prime it a little bit before it really does what it's supposed to do. It is really sticky, which is nice, but it's a little too sticky. And I don't really want residue all over my diamonds, but we'll see how this goes. Anyway, so I'm glad to have y'all here. Yeah, Nicole, I have left it out in the house, and the house is probably, we'll say like 72-ish degrees. So it's not too chilly in here. If it were like over the weekend, this past weekend, it would be too cold in here, and I would have had to do the armpit or the bra trick like Rachel talks about, where I keep it close to my body for a little while before I can start using it. So this was actually relatively soft to the touch, so I didn't have any problem getting it in the pin. And for the most part, it's not too bad since that very first one. It's kind of working out for me now. But yeah, this is my very first time trying Patty Wax, so it's I've heard that there's a learning curve. I was prepared for that, so it's not too bad. I do see that on this one, like this one here, I'm gonna have to like come back and get the wax off of that one. It's got some residue on there, but that's all right. It's all good. We'll figure it out one way or the other. So what is everybody up tonight? Are we working and lurking? Are we like doing crafts? Are we just hanging out and watching videos? I know that I did have some plans for this weekend that have gotten canceled. And I don't want to get too into it because I don't know how different people feel about stuff. Some people get like way too can get really upset and panicky, and I don't want to cause that. But my plans this weekend got canceled because of COVID-19. So my husband and I were supposed to go to Baltimore for a Magic the Gathering tournament, so a collectible card game that he plays. They were going to have a tournament in Baltimore this weekend, and it just got canceled. Oh yeah, I do that too, Yvonne. But yeah, so the convention got canceled, so we decided not to go to Baltimore after all, which was fine by me because all the authorities are saying don't travel if you don't have to, try to stay out of big crowds. Obviously, all of the wash your hands thoroughly and often, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just as happy not to be going out of state to a crowded place. That's totally fine with me. But I am kind of disappointed that we're not going to go and hang out with our friends that we were going to hang out with. We were actually going to travel with a couple. So it was going to be kind of like a double date weekend thing, which would have been really, really fun. So we'll have to plan that for some time after the pandemic has ceased to be so concerning. So cross stitching, Nicole, awesome. I'm an avid cross stitcher. You probably know that if you follow my channel. John works at Kroger. Yeah, I don't understand. Does anybody get the whole toilet paper thing? Because I really don't understand the toilet paper thing. Like, I completely understand going and stocking up on pantry items, getting some toilet paper and paper towels and, the basics just to make sure that if you're stuck in the house, you have what you need. But I don't understand buying out all of the toilet paper. Rachel! I'm sorry if that was super loud. I really didn't expect you to be here. This is so awesome. Is it like 1 a.m. for you? What time is it in Ireland? Unicorns, yay! I'm so happy to see you. It's nice to see you in the chat. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I don't get the toilet paper thing. It's just like here in Virginia, if there's the threat of snow, the first thing people do is they go and buy all the milk and bread. And I don't understand, why do you buy the milk and bread? Are you gonna make like milk sandwiches when it snows and there's no power? Like, I don't I don't get what that is about. So the toilet paper with COVID-19, it would be different if it were like swine flu or something where they expected there to be a lot of gastro issues. That would make more sense to me, but I don't get the toilet paper. It would even make more sense to me if people were buying out all of the tissues. That would make much more sense, since it's going to be like a fluish kind of situation. Oh, it's only 11. Wow, my ability to tell time and to count is not good. Oh no, Yvonne, that sounds awful. I would be a little panicky if I were you, having to touch all that stuff. Yeah, Rachel, I kind of do the same thing. Hi Nana. I kind of do the same thing. So what I do is I buy my toilet paper and my paper towels and like laundry detergent, all those kind of like regular staple things that you need to have on hand. I buy them all from Subscribe and Save on Amazon. And so when I get them, I get a lot of them. Not like, a year's worth or anything like that, but I get a bulk amount because that's kind of how Amazon sells it. So interestingly enough, I had just ordered more toilet paper before all of this stuff hit. And it was only because we were down to like 1 pack of toilet paper. And when I say pack, I think it's like a dozen fat rolls, like big fat rolls. So we weren't really out. But I had not seen that pack when I thought we were pretty close to out. So I went ahead and ordered from Amazon our regular monthly shipment. And so we're totally covered for probably 6 months with toilet paper, just because I did my regular shopping that happened to coincide with all of the madness about the toilet paper. So go me, I guess. And we still have paper towels for ages because I guess it's partly we don't go through that many paper towels, but also, again, I get the bulk from Amazon. So we just never run. I think I buy paper towels once a year. I really don't get a whole lot of them. We have laundry detergent. I am running low on dish detergent, so that's something that I might have to get. And I will say I have done some shopping Milk sandwiches. Yes, Nana. Exactly. Exactly. Milk sandwiches. I don't get it. Oh, and the eggs. So you're gonna have like eggy milk sandwiches or milky egg sandwiches. I don't know. With the bread and the milk. Anyway. But yeah, I did when they first started talking about COVID-19, and it really first started hitting Italy, and people started saying there was the potential for it to spread pretty far and wide. Um, I didn't panic, but at the same time, I was talking to a friend of mine at work who is probably much more um, reactionary, we'll say, than I am. And she was really kind of pushing the idea of making sure that, you have like a month's worth of groceries and all this sort of stuff. So she had gone shopping around then. And I was like, you know what? It's not going to hurt us to have, some stock of stuff in the freezer and some stock of stuff in the pantry and stuff, because worst case scenario, all this blows over and and there's not a whole lot going on, then, well, we have groceries for a while. So I went ahead and I did that. So I took a trip to Sam's Club. I just bought, I bought a couple different kinds of meat. I bought some dry goods, granola bars, canned chicken, things, not only things that would keep, but things that I know we will eat regardless of what happens. Because I didn't want to be that person. Hi, James. How's James doing? Everybody is out of hand sanitizer, Lysol, Clorox wipes in Alabama. Yeah, I am so not surprised. I don't know, Rachel, if Amazon, I would think that Amazon UK would probably have a subscribe and save. I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm getting way into my like just talking and diamond painting, so I'm not paying attention to chat. So it's probably good that there's only a couple of us here, because I would be like way losing it on the chat. But yeah, I feel like Amazon UK should have subscribe and save. Why wouldn't they? If they have it in the US. Though, I mean, there's parts of Amazon that we don't have all over the US, like that Amazon grocery or whatever. I don't think I can purchase it unless I have it delivered to work, and work doesn't want me to have things like that delivered. So that's kind of and with the whole COVID-19 thing, that's kind of the thing that I'm waiting to see what happens with the whole work situation. So I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I work for the states or the Commonwealth. So I'm a state employee, which has certain kinds of benefits. So I assume that if something happens and the government decides, oh, we're going to close down for 2 weeks just to make sure everybody's cool, then um, then I'll probably still get paid. So I'm actually really privileged in that sense. There's also the possibility they'll ask us to work from home, which wouldn't bother me in the slightest, to be perfectly honest. I have a laptop that I use regularly for, like, I take it back and forth and use it every day at work. That is my actual work computer. So, working off of a laptop is not anything new to me. And working from home would mean that I could maybe, craft between emails and have my cats and all that sort of stuff. So that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Defeating the aliens. What game is James playing these days? I forget what game he was playing when we were chatting one time. He was playing something. He's always playing video games. It's funny to me because he doesn't seem like a video game guy to me. So I think it's kind of funny that he plays the video games. And Adam doesn't play a lot of video games anymore. He used to play a lot. Okay, I think I'm done with that color. I just have to remember what color that was. That was C. So, I feel like I had other things to say and I just got like way into the COVID-19 thing. It's been really on my mind today, especially because there's been all kinds of news. They only just over the weekend started confirming cases of COVID-19 in Virginia. And then between Monday and today, it went from 2 cases to now 9 confirmed cases. So it's super on my mind. And I'm trying to figure out where the line is between being appropriately concerned and taking the right kind of action and just being a worrywart and being too panicky. So I'm kind of in that place. XCOM 2. I don't think I've played XCOM 2. Oh, okay. Turn-based tabletop almost. Yeah, there's a bunch of games like that. A lot of the and you might be familiar with this. A lot of the like anime RPG type games are also turn-based in their fighting, and even Final Fantasy. Most of the Final Fantasy games, I think the combat are turn-based rounds, and it's kind of weird. Oh, though you probably mean more like Carcassonne, where if you're playing with other people or even the computer, like you take your turn and make your moves, and then the next player takes their turn and makes the moves and stuff like that. That's probably what you mean. Let's go with V. What is V? V is 21. Lucky 21. So yeah, so my plans for the weekend are all topsy-turvy. The good news is I get to stay home, which I always enjoy. I'm trying to decide now. I was going to take Friday off so that we could drive up to Baltimore, but I don't have to take Friday off since we're not driving up to Baltimore. But should I not take it off, or should I go ahead and I'm like really on the fence because part of me is like I'm not sure if my vacation in Hawaii is going to get canceled or postponed. So I might have actually a lot of vacation time to use this year that I didn't think I was going to have. I might have no vacation time. I don't know. So part of me is like, I could save it, but then part of me is like, I really don't want to go to work. So I don't know. But Friday, I think, is going to be a quiet day at work because interestingly enough, there's a conference at work. It's not a conference I have to go to, thankfully, but they didn't cancel it for whatever reason. You're not supposed to gather in large groups, but they didn't cancel the conference, whatever. So yeah, most everybody's going to be going to the conference. So it'll be nice and quiet. So it might be a good day to just go ahead and go to work. But I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. Yeah, I keep talking about it with Adam, and he's less concerned than I am. So he's kind of tempering my tendency towards panic. Like where you can only move in a certain area, and then the combat is normal turn-based kind of mechanism. Oh, okay, interesting. XCOM. So that's probably like one of those recon games or something, like sniper games or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea. I'll look it up later. But yeah, so I really had to earlier today I was chatting with one of my work friends, and we both realized halfway through the conversation that we were kind of working each other and ourselves up into sort of a tizzy. And so we both were like, okay, let's not talk about this anymore. We'll agree that there's reason to be concerned, but we're not gonna to make it worse by just like continuing to go on and on about it. So I was glad for both of us that we could recognize what we were doing and kind of pull back. So that was good. But yeah, so it's hard for me not it's hard for me to get off the subject and to not think about it. Yes, James is a conspiracy theorist at heart. That makes so much sense. So much sense. Oh, goodness. So, other things that we can talk about. Well, I did realize, I don't know, I know some of you watch my floss tube, and I realized with a, so let's talk about how it got posted in the first place. So when I recorded floss tube, I decided, oh, I'll use this old cell phone that I have because it's my mom's old cell phone. Those of you who've been following me know my mom passed away a couple of years ago, but I still have this old cell phone of hers. And it's actually a decent cell phone. And in fact, I feel like the camera on it is actually better than my newer cell phone. Because she and I had the exact same model back when we got them. And then, since then, Adam and I have both upgraded to newer phones. And, oh, Adam's calling me. Hold on just a second. I'm going to mute this for a second so I can chat with him. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I wasn't sure how serious Adam's phone call was going to be, so I wanted to make sure I answered it. And then he's like, "Oh, you can call me back," and I'm like, "Well, it might be a little while." He was just like, apparently he's still in communication with our friends about what to do this weekend, and so they had an idea of like hanging out and getting pizza and drinking beer and watching the Friday the 13th movie, since it'll be Friday the 13th. So evidently that's what we're doing now. Oh, my new craft room. How is my new craft room going? Um, it's not going anywhere yet. At least not any further than it was probably since August. We got Windows installed in August, and since then I've had trouble getting in there. So part of me is actually like super interested in working from home or being quarantined for 2 weeks, because that is what I would do. I would actually get myself in there, get stuff organized, get stuff moving around, and really make some headway on that. Because for whatever reason, I feel like I need this gigantic chunk of time. Like I need a couple of weeks just to not have to be responsible for anything but that. And I know some of it is because it's going to be emotional to some extent, dealing with some of that stuff, all of mom's old stuff. Um, but some of it is just because I have this thing where I feel like I need to do it all in one shot. Like doing little by little, I don't see enough progress to make it feel like I'm getting anywhere, and so I really lose a lot of motivation when that happens. So yeah, so I think about it every day, every single day. I think about that room and what I need to do, and I get frustrated with myself because I need space to spread stuff out. Um, to do various crafts, I need dedicated spaces for all of my mailing supplies to be able to package things for shipping. I need dedicated space for all of the merchandise I'm starting to acquire. So I need all of these things, and it's like I have to get in there and I have to get it done. So um, it's gonna happen. I promise it's gonna happen. Oh wow, 43 cases in Ireland now. Are they mostly around Dublin, Rachel? Because I would assume that they're probably mostly in Dublin or in some of the other larger cities. I would feel like COVID is not gonna get around Ireland as fast, just because of how rural so much of Ireland is. But that might be me um, thinking about it the wrong way. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like in the cities it could certainly spread pretty quickly, but I feel like outside of the cities it wouldn't spread quite as badly or as fast. Yeah, I think the takeaway for all of us with COVID-19 is just to take proper health precautions. Um, listen to the CDC, listen to the World Health Organization when they tell you how to best avoid contracting the virus, and don't think too hard about how zombie movies happen. I was like, not to make light of a serious situation, but I was talking with some coworkers the other day, and I was like, this it's so much like a zombie movie, like how it begins. There's this virus that starts, and people underestimate it, and then the next thing you know, strange things are happening, and um, the world's going crazy. And I just really hope that people are able to stay calm and stay safe, because that's one of the things that's pretty common in film and fiction. I think is that when things really go bad, the masses seem to go crazy, and when people go crazy and panic and buy all the toilet paper for no reason, things like that. That's when stuff gets really bad. Because when we all work together and we're cooperative and we're conscious of ourselves and each other, I think we work through things a lot better. Yeah, I also forget that most of Ireland's population is actually in those that's why they're populated areas, is because lots of people live in them. And so even though a lot of Ireland is rural, that's a much smaller part of the population out in those rural areas. But it does mean that you're probably safer than a lot of folks because you're out in the country. Um, but I'm okay with you being out in the country because it means I don't have to worry about you so much. So, because if you lived somewhere else, I might be a lot more worried than I am. Of course, I also know that you and James are far more than capable of taking care of yourselves out in the wilderness, so it's all good. Goodness. So yeah, it sounds like we're gonna watch some Friday the 13th movies this weekend. I don't know how I feel about watching the Friday the 13th movies, just because I'm not usually a horror movie fan anyway. It's not usually my deal. Um, but apparently there's going to be beer involved. Um, I will probably take my knitting with me, just because if I get bored and I'm not drunk enough, then I'll have something to do. And I feel bad because I actually asked him. I was like, "Would they be upset if I brought some knitting just in case?" He sounds like he thinks. It sounds like he and his friend Zach are probably going to end up going and playing Marissa. Hi, Marissa. I was hoping he would show up. How's it going, Marissa? But yeah, it sounds like what Adam thinks is going to happen is that we're going to hang out in the afternoon and drink some beers and eat some pizza, and then he and Zach are going to go play cards at the shop and leave me and Sierra, Zach's wife, by ourselves, which is not a problem. Sierra is an awesome person, but like we're not, um, we don't know each other very well. She and I, like, it's one of those situations where Zach and Adam are the friends, and then we hang out with each other through Zach and Adam. So, and I've hung out with her before, but never alone. So the idea of being alone with a person I don't know very well sort of terrifies me. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a thing that you all experience, but yeah, it has nothing to do with her. It has everything to do with me and my social anxiety and all of that kind of stuff. But it's just like, please don't leave me alone. That was actually one of my fears of going away with them this weekend. It's like, what is going to happen when you two go to play cards and Sierra and I are by ourselves just kind of staring at each other? And I'm like, I'm going to take some cross stitch. I'm going to take some knitting. And he's like, well, I would hope you would spend some time with Sierra. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know how to people, like, especially like one on one with somebody that I don't know very well. Like, I don't. That's not how I do. I actually have thought about that, Marissa. I have these tiny little Pusheen cross stitch kits. They're super cute. I wish I had one close to hand because I would show it to you. But I bought one for myself several months ago, and then a friend of mine gave me one for Christmas as well. And it turns out that they have the same three patterns. All the boxes. I thought they were like random boxes, but they have the exact same three patterns. And so I actually have an extra kit, and I could do that. I could take them both, and she could work on one, and I could work on the other. The only thing is, I don't think she's a crafty person. Like, she's a fitness kind of person, which I don't mean to say that like that's a bad thing, but like people who are super into fitness are different than me. Keg vodka. Oh my gosh, the cake vodka. I think there's still wedding cake vodka in the cabinet in the bar. Yeah. So I can people when I'm drunk. I can do a lot of things when I'm drunk that I can't do when I'm sober. Oh goodness. Did I show the pushing cross stitches in my video? I've gotten to the point where I can no longer remember what's in my videos. Oh, I don't know if y'all can hear that. One of my kitties she's kind of coughing tonight. I don't know what I don't know what's going on with her. I feel like she's got a hairball she can't get out or something. And it's weird because Momo was kind of like that last night, but Momo seems totally fine today, and now Luna is doing what Momo was doing. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the babies. It's been a weird kind of like week or so because I guess a week ago, Monday, Adam cut the grass, which is a new thing in our household because since we moved into this house, we've actually had a guy who cuts grass in the neighborhood. We've had him do our grass for us. And this year we decided that to save money and also because we weren't really thrilled with the job that he was doing, that we would actually just get our own lawn equipment and start doing our own grass. So Adam cut the grass on Monday, came inside, and Loki rubbed all over his legs and his feet. And then the next thing you know, Loki is sneezing all over the place, like he got something up his nose. Oh, the animal stacks. Yeah, the animal stacks. I haven't kitted those up yet. No, the pusheen ones that I have are actually. Dang it! I don't even have one. Let's see. So I'm not sure if you're. This is Pusheen. Pusheen the cat. So all those little figures that I have behind me in my videos are Pusheen, and I have some. I have some Pusheen cross stitches as well. But no, the animal stacks are super cute, but that might be a little advanced for a brand new person. Karaoke. I don't think. Actually, I talked to Adam about doing karaoke with Zach and Sierra, and apparently they're super not into karaoke. Like not even just we don't really care for karaoke, but no, we're not going to karaoke. Like they don't even want to go watch karaoke, let alone sing, which makes me sad because karaoke would be super easy. I'm all about the karaoke, and I haven't been forever. But yeah, what was I talking about? Okay, I've lost it. I was saying something about forgetting what I've done in my videos, and now I've forgotten what I. See, this is easier to do. I should do this on Sunday morning, like I did that one time, because I might actually have half a brain. Oh goodness! Oh, I've run out of V's. Okay. After I just put more wax in my pen. I'm not sure. I'm probably doing something wrong because I keep having to put more wax in the pen. So I'm using the patty wax you sent me, Rachel. This is actually this is a little sampler that Rachel sent me. It's blackberry. Smells really good. This is my favorite of the ones that you sent me. There's a campfire, a vanilla lavender, and a cinnamon stick, and the blackberry is my favorite. I saw that that she had in her shop like a vanilla chai or something recently. I almost bought it, but then I couldn't justify buying more patty wax when I hadn't even tried the patty wax that I have. Oh my gosh. You're both going to come to the States next spring? Is there like an event you're coming to? Because whatever it is, I want to be there because like you know that I've been dying to meet Heike, but obviously I want to see you too. So yes, we will definitely do karaoke. We're gonna have to figure out how much time y'all have because we need some dedicated like crafty knitting, cross stitchy hangout karaoke time. I don't think we can do all the things at one time, but we need time for all the things. So like I'm gonna totally co-opt your trip if you're gonna be here. That's definitely a thing that will have to happen. Yeah, I used to have friends that I go to karaoke with. A stitchy thing in spring. What stitchy thing is in spring? Are you holding out on me? I feel like you're holding out on me. I am not aware of a stitchy thing happening here in the States spring of 2021. Oh, hi, Jasmine. No, you're absolutely not out of line. I'm happy to have you here. We welcome all kinds of crafts here. I just happen to be doing diamond painting tonight. Um, yeah, if you're a subscriber, you know that I mostly do cross stitch. That's my main thing. I have been getting into knitting thanks to Heike and Rachel. I have done knitting in the past, but watching their videos and a couple of other folks that I follow now has really gotten me back, has given me the bug again. So I'm doing more knitting. But cross stitch is my main thing. I just decided I wanted to do a live. I've been wanting to do like a midweek live for a while, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. And I was just kind of feeling bored and wanting to do something different. So that's why I'm doing diamond painting tonight. And this particular painting, I don't plan on linking you to because it's from Amazon, and as far as I know, they did not get licensing for this image. Excuse me. So sometime after the live, I'll actually go back and link to who I believe is the original artist, but I'm not actually going to link to this specific canvas because I don't want to perpetuate folks that are not paying artists. So, and that's also why I'm not going to like pan out for you to see the whole thing. It's not the best canvas ever. The actual what you call it, the thing they do where they turn a picture into the diamonds. The conversion is not terribly great, so the colors are kind of off compared to the original picture and all that sort of stuff. Basically, the only reason I'm doing this is because I do actually like the subject matter. I like the cat and everything, but also I promised myself that I wouldn't open or kit up any other diamond paintings until I had finished at least one whip, because I have 4 different diamond paintings going, and I haven't finished one in ages. So I wanted to finish one, and I just bought, because Rachel, um, I always blame Rachel for enabling me, but honestly, I don't need anybody to enable me. I enable myself. So I blame her, but I don't really blame her. But yeah, I just bought a new Diamond Art Club that I want to do for the Easter DP along, to be able to tag in that. And so I want to be able to start that soonishly after I get it, so I can actually still pretend like it's going to be finished close to Easter. So I wanted to finish this, or work on this at least, so I can get it closer to finish, so I won't feel so bad about opening a new diamond painting. Because I think the springy one that I'm getting to do the Easter DP along, I will probably open up and kit up and start working on pretty quickly after I get it. I just ordered it this week. Had to go back and check. It was called Needlework Galleria, but I'm not sure if it's still happening. Which one is StitchCon? Is that the one that's Heaven and Earth does their own con, but StitchCon, that's not the same thing, is it? Because I definitely need to do I desperately want to get to a stitching convention or something. There's actually going to be one in Virginia Beach the same time that we're supposed to be in Hawaii. So I've already been thinking about, if we end up not being able to travel in April, maybe, or at least if we can't travel out of state, maybe I could still go to Virginia Beach for the convention there. So, or for the stitching thing retreat. That's what I'm looking for the stitching retreat there. So we'll have to see. Yeah, exactly, Rachel. I have the credit card. It's all on me, and I totally accept that. Because yeah, I'm an adult. I pay my own bills. So if I buy things, that's on me. It's not on anybody else. And as much as I joke about blaming you, I don't blame you for anything, because if nothing else, what I really like is that you expose me to a lot of stuff I might not see otherwise. Because we have similar tastes, but not the exact same taste, which I think is really fun, because a lot of times you'll run into stuff because you're looking at this other thing, and then you run across this third thing, and the third thing is what I really love, that I never would have discovered if you hadn't been looking at that second thing that really wasn't my deal. So who are Keepsakes and Pam and Steph? I'm not. I feel bad because I'm not familiar with any of that. Pam and Steph are designers, I'm assuming. And I'm bummed too because one of the stitching retreats, I can't remember if it's the Virginia Beach one or if it's one that's already passed. But one of the stitching retreats was actually going to have Paulette Stewart of Plum Street Samplers at the retreat, and I'm super sad that I'm probably not going to be there or that I wasn't there, whatever the situation was, because I would have loved to have met her because the animal stacks are like my favorite thing ever. They're so cute. Yeah, I don't know Pam and Steph, and I feel really bad. I mean, I don't. Are they just called Pam and Steph, or is that one? Is that one of the floss tubes that you had suggested to me, like back in when you first started doing floss tube? Because I totally favorited them, and then I never, or not, I saved them somehow so that I could go back and watch, but I never have actually watched them. Because I'll tell you what happened. I started watching Kitten Stitcher, and I like decided to go back to her very first video, her first floss tube, and then I watched and watched and tried to catch up. Shop owners, runners. Okay, yeah. So I have them saved somewhere. I will definitely check them out. So StitchCon is run by them, so I definitely have to check them out so that I know what this whole StitchCon thing is. Trying to figure out what color I'm going to do next. I guess I'm going to work in this area over here. So let's do some T's. T is 20. Okay. Okay, so Keepsakes is the shop. Does Keepsakes design their own patterns and stuff too, or are they just cross-stitch sellers? I have to say, it's super fun to diamond paint with folks who are super into cross-stitch too, because I can talk about cross-stitch a lot more than I can talk about diamond painting. I like diamond painting. It's really enjoyable and very relaxing, which was the other reason I wanted to do this tonight, because I was like, I can chat, I can get some work done on this diamond painting, and it'll be relaxing. Because I was trying to knit last night, and I just kept getting bored with it. And part of it is I have a super boring pattern that I'm working on. So, I mean, you can't do but so much to make it interesting when the pattern is just knit, 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 knit. So, ooh, Ohio. I'm supposed to be going to Ohio this year in June, assuming out-of-state travel is allowed at that point. We'll have to see how that goes. But that will be for a gaming convention. We're actually going to hit Las Vegas first, and then we're going to go to the gaming convention in Columbus. Oh, I remembered what I was talking about before. So, Adam cut the grass. Loki was sneezing his poor little head off. I was getting to the point after a day or two where I was like, maybe we need to take him to the vet. But then he basically stopped sneezing. I was pretty sure it was like an allergic reaction kind of situation. So he stopped sneezing and, seems to be completely back to normal. And then all of a sudden, Momo has this issue where she seems like she's having trouble keeping food down, or like she seems like she's trying to swallow something or trying to cough something up, and neither is working. It's not going up or down. But that was just yesterday. Yes, no higher. They're just a shop from what I know. Don't think they design. Okay, I'm still gonna check them out because I absolutely need more things to buy. There's never enough stuff to buy. So has StitchCon already? I feel like StitchCon has happened this year. I feel like I heard something about it already. Not that I can be making more travel plans. I already have way more travel plans than I might be able to manage this year. Though I think probably Ireland is out of it at this point, which makes me sad. I was really hoping to come back to Ireland this year. But I think with things as they are, Ireland's not going to happen. By the time I know whether I can do that kind of travel, it's going to be too late to be able to plan that travel, I think. So, oh well, sad. It is in June. Uh-oh, I might have to take an extended vacation. Do we know where in Ohio they are? Well, I'll definitely plan on going in 2021 as well. But if I can go this year, I will totally go this year. Because why not? If I can. Ohio's a lot easier than Ireland, y'all. For me, at least. It's only like a 10-hour drive, depending on where it is in Ohio. I know that, yeah, to get to Columbus, it's only like 10 hours. So if it's anywhere near Columbus and it happens to be in the same general time frame, I am totally going to ditch my husband at the con and I'm going to go to StitchCon instead. I am not even ashamed. Not even the slightest bit. I will totally do it. He won't be but so sad because he'll be playing True Dungeon all weekend, so he won't even notice I'm gone probably. Because that's how he do. He plays the True Dungeon. I play a little bit of True Dungeon, which is basically like a live action role playing game. It's like D&D, but you wander around the dungeon instead of doing it on your tabletop. So it's actually really True Dungeon is actually really cool because they set up these huge elaborate dungeons that you walk through. Each dungeon has 7 rooms, and sometimes you encounter a monster that you have to fight. You don't physically fight it. You like have a shuffleboard kind of situation. Not shuffleboard. Is it shuffleboard? No. It's like air hockey almost. Well, you're always welcome to stay here at the house anytime you're in the States. We have a guest room that we will actually make into a more hospitable guest room, so you can absolutely stay here anytime you want to. If you happen to be in the States when I'm in Ohio, then you can absolutely stay with me in Ohio. I don't have any problem with that. Oh, it has a wait list? Okay, so I guess we have to sign up this year so that we can get in next year. I get so frustrated with stuff that's like really exclusive because it seems like a lot of people want to do exclusive stuff just because it's exclusive, and I'm like, I just want to do it because it's fun. Like why do I have to? I can't get in and do the fun things because it's all exclusive. I'm not sure that that's the situation, but I'm actually thinking more of a Gen Con thing where they do these VIP badges, very important, or VIG, very important gamer badges. And basically you have to have been a very important gamer since they started doing it in order to really get a VIP badge, because they give preferential treatment, or not preferential treatment, they give a preference for purchasing those to the people who have had them in the past. So if you've had it in the past, you almost automatically get one going forward. So unless one of those people decides, oh no, I don't want to do that this year, nobody else gets to do it. And that's kind of crappy in my book. Because, yeah, I have opinions about that. We won't go into that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of meeting people and giving people high fives is kind of why I want to go to some of these too, especially now Nashville market is a whole other animal. But even so, some of the reason that I want to go is just so I can meet some of these people and high five them, because I know Kitten Stitcher goes and Michelle Bendy Stitchy goes, Missy, a bunch of the other folks in the community, in the online community, in the FlossTube community, go to Nashville Market. And in addition to being this fantastic place to spend every penny you ever had, it is also a place where I might get a chance to meet some of those really awesome people that I have come to know and love online. So that's definitely something that I want to do. But yeah, if there's a wait list for StitchCon, then the three of us need to figure that out and get on that, because I am totally down for planning that for June next year. I am so down for that. Like I said, if I can manage it this year, I will absolutely do it this year. But it sounds like that might be just out. Not that I won't research it as soon as I get off the computer or as soon as I get off the live. So I will totally do that before I go to bed tonight. Trying to figure, I can't see. I need to do what you did, Rachel, and put the washi tape down. I just haven't. Yeah, I guess they were super excited if they got in off the wait list. I wonder how long that wait list is. Like, is it years long? That would make me sad. And see, I had no idea that these kinds of things existed, that there were so many of them and they were so well attended and stuff. Like, I just had no idea. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so I'll have to do some research with that and see when I might be able to go, because that would be super fun. I was hoping there might be more retreats in my area, because apparently there's Dying for Cross Stitch on Facebook, Kathy Davidson and all her wonderful dyeing things. But then there's Dying to Cross Stitch, which is a store in Virginia Beach, Virginia, or Williamsburg, one or the other. Oh, a new one each year. That's nice. That's good. So you don't just automatically get like forwarded from the last year. You're welcome. I don't know what you're thanking me for, but you're welcome. Oh, for bringing cross stitch into your life. I am very happy that I brought cross stitch into your life, because you have brought all kinds of things into my life that I would not have. Like, I never would have explored floss tube if it weren't for you getting so into cross stitch and starting your own floss tube, and watching other floss tubes and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's so much that I've gotten exposed to that I never would have if you hadn't shown it to me or brought it into my life in one form or another. So it really has worked out well for me that I brought you into cross stitching. And honestly, I cannot wait for Stioch this year. I'm getting kind of antsy because they're not posting anything to even indicate when it will happen. I'm assuming it's going to happen. Oh, they have a new retreat in Dallas. I forgot you live in Dallas. We're actually going to be, assuming we get to go to Hawaii in April, we're actually going to be flying through Dallas. We're doing a one-stop hop, and we're going from Richmond to Dallas to Maui. I'm sorry, Marissa. Whatever your craft space looks like, I apologize, because it's probably at least partly my fault. Oh goodness. But I can't be sad, or I can't be but so sorry, because I really don't mind if I bring things into your life that you enjoy. As long as everything else that has to get done is getting done, it's all good. I actually blame some of you for the state of my craft space too, because oh my gosh, like, I love doing floss tube, but it's like, it can be so time consuming to do floss tube because I have to pull out all the things. And I remember, I think Rachel, you had posted a picture of what your craft area looks like after a floss tube. And this past weekend, not weekend, what was it, Monday? Oh my gosh, my time is so messed up. Monday, after I finished filming floss tube, it looked like a cross stitch store had exploded all over my table. And I was like, this reminds me of that time Rachel took a picture, because it looked just like such a disaster. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is why I need to get my craft room set up. I have so many dreams for my craft room. and finally getting it set up and having all these different surfaces that I can work on and space to put things away, space to keep, excuse me, large cross-stitch frames and stuff like that, because I really want to get started on my heaven and earth charts, but I need massive pieces of fabric for that. And I need them to have a home that they can stay in when I'm not working on them, where they will be safe from kitties. So, unscheduled stop at Michael's last night. 4 stitchy projects seems really conservative, Marissa. I feel like we need to work you up to a few there. I have at least 4. How many do I have right now? Let's see, that I'm actively working on. I think it's only 4. So I've got the linen and threads. I've got animal almanac, amino almanac, animal almanac, and peppermint purples blackwork SAL, and Grimm's Fairy Tales. So those are my active whips. But I also have the sun and moon. I think it's called Celestial something. The really old kit that I want to finish. And I've got a start from Stiach 5 that I bought that pattern during their Amnesty weekend a couple years ago. Because I didn't know about Stiach during Stiach 5. I got the pattern later. So I have those 2 and the Soya that I've started. Well, thanks for stopping in, Marissa. I hope you have a great live. I will probably cut out of here soon anyway, so I might drop in once I get done here. Still cleaning, putting away drills from the Dreamer Designs unboxing. Oh, goodness. Was there an accident with the Dreamer Designs unboxing? I don't think I've watched that one yet. I've gotten really kind of out of watching unboxings. I'm not really sure why. I think part of it is because I'm not trying to buy diamond paintings right now. And I fought with myself over the diamond paintings that I just bought from DAC. And part of it was I really wanted a springy thing to work on for the Easter DP along. And then I had been looking at that newer Snow White canvas since they brought it out as a new release. And I finally just bit the bullet and bought it. I've been waiting for that Dragon Attack one to come back, but I think it's going to be, we're going to have to wait for post-COVID, I think, before that is back, probably. But I really, really want that when it comes back. We can start the unicorns anytime. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that would be hard to get back in the box. Oh my gosh, yeah, that must have been really difficult to get back together. I can only imagine. Probably like 50 million drills. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we can start on the unicorns absolutely anytime. So I have my fabric, I have all my DMC flosses, I even have them bobbinated, all my DMC flosses, and I just ordered the Krynex because I just got an account where I can get them wholesale. So yay! So yeah, those are on the way. I think they're actually going to be here tomorrow. My Krynex will be. So once they get in, I will have absolutely everything I need for the unicorns, which will be fantastic. So I am ready. Totally ready for that. Yeah, I was thinking the other day about just going ahead and starting it and seeing, like getting ahead of y'all. But then I was like, nah, I don't really need to start. But I think I'm kind of in this place where I'm not working on my whips as much as I probably should, because I think probably I need a couple of new starts to kind of energize things. Because I find when you start something new, then suddenly you want to go back and work on the old stuff too. So, yep. A new start would be fantastic. I have my pattern all printed out. I have all my stuff together. In fact, I think I might have, I'll have to see, do I have my, where's that? Oh, okay. Yeah, my project bag with that stuff is in the other room, I think. Yeah, I think I took it downstairs. I have stuff everywhere. And this is why I need to get on the craft room situation, because I have craft supplies literally all over the house. And so anytime I want to do anything, I have to drag it out from wherever I left it last. And unlike probably most people, I'm one of those people where I'm like a cat, because I'll work in one room for weeks, and then I'll decide that that's not where I want to hang out anymore. I want to move to this other room and do all my crafts in this other room. And so then I have to drag all the crafts to the other room. And then because I'm working in like shared spaces in the house, I have to pack those things up or, consolidate them somehow, so that the next time I want to work on that thing, I have to drag everything back out. So I desperately need to set up a craft space that I can just walk in and do whatever I want to do. And I don't have to hide things or put things away or consolidate things. They could just all be in their own places all the time. Definitely need to do that. I am happy to make you buffalo chicken dip if you want to come over and figure out how to help me get my space together. Actually, the first step is getting through mom's stuff, and that's been the biggest hurdle, just because it's so hard to get myself to want to deal with it, because I know it's going to be emotional. And so I think that's a lot of it, is I've just been avoiding it because I don't want to deal with the emotional impact of it. But I'm really getting to the point where I'm so frustrated over not having the space that I think I'm finally getting to the point where that frustration is going to overpower the concern over dealing with the emotional stuff. I think I'm finally getting to that place where it's like, okay, it's definitely sad that she's gone, but you know what? Nobody is using this stuff. It is okay to get rid of it because she is not this stuff. So I think I'm finally getting to that place in my head. So, and that's been a lot of what it is trying to get to that place where I'm willing to let things go, because there is a whole lot of stuff that just needs to go somewhere else. It needs to not live here. And and of course Rachel knows all about Marie Kondo. Oops, that is not at all where that goes. This goes way up here. So the whole premise behind Marie Kondo's tidying up is that objects have a spirit. They have feelings. They're not necessarily alive in the way that people are, but they have feelings and they have purposes. And when they're not able to fulfill a purpose, they are unhappy. It brings unhappy energy to your home and to your life. And so you can make those objects happier by giving them new purpose. So if you're not using them and you're not enjoying them and they're not bringing joy to your life, then it's time for you to let them go so that they can go on to a new home where they can fulfill their purpose and bring somebody else joy. And have a good night, Jasmine. It's been great to have you here. Nice to talk to a subscriber, and I'll hope you come back next time. Hi, Kelly. Nice to meet you. Yeah, Rachel, that's been something that I have to come to terms with, is that, like, her stuff is not her, and having her stuff here doesn't make, it doesn't make her be here more. It doesn't make her more or less real. Like, she is not the stuff, is basically what it shakes out to. And it's been a difficult thing for me to come to terms with, just because I come from a family of pack rats, and I think a lot of that comes from some issues my mom had that caused her to be a borderline hoarder. My dad was basically the same kind of way. So whatever issues they had that caused them to want to keep things, well, that's sort of how I was raised, is that you just keep everything. And so I sort of tie all this extra meaning to stuff that I don't have to tie to stuff. And I've been working really hard to change my mindset about physical things and material things, so that I'm not so tied to things. And I I don't buy things just to buy them. I buy them because I get a real sense of joy from them, for whatever reason. I totally just forgot what letter I'm working on. I think I'm working on H. We're going to pretend that I'm working on H because there's an H right here. But yeah, so we're getting closer and closer. It's a long, slow process. And any of you who have lost someone important in your life, you understand where I'm coming from with that. So, Kelly, my favorite diamond painting company to buy from. Currently, it is Diamond Art Club, just because I think they have a good balance of really high quality without being too crazy expensive. I would love to say that Diamond Shop is my favorite, but I haven't gotten a chance to purchase from Diamond Shop because they are pricier. But I think that the quality goes with the price. I haven't been willing or able to spend that kind of money on a diamond painting, especially because I keep buying Diamond Art Club. And so that's where all my money is going. But I do love their quality. I love the fact that they pay their artists. They use licensed artwork. They don't just, grab whatever and use it without, paying proper tribute, not tribute, but paying the artist appropriately and giving them appropriate credit. That was actually an issue I had with Royal Diamond Painting in the last several months because there's an artist who calls herself Medusa the Doll Maker that I really, really love. She, crap, and I don't have that bag here. That same bag I was going to show you that has her artwork on it is what I was going to go for this, and I still don't have it with me. But I really, really love her artwork. And I noticed one of her pieces pop up on Royal Diamond Painting, but they didn't attribute the artwork to her. They didn't name an artist in it at all, which I thought was kind of strange. So I messaged them and I was like, well, this is a piece of artwork that I recognize, but I noticed that you didn't credit the artist. Do you have a license for this artwork? And they wouldn't respond to me. Royal Diamond Painting wouldn't respond to me. So then ultimately what I ended up doing was contacting the artist directly. She happens to have an Etsy store. So I contacted her through her Etsy store and I said, I noticed that this diamond painting company is selling a piece of your artwork and I didn't know if you were aware of it. Because she does license through Diamond Shop. That's how I found out about her. Pardon me, just drinking some tea. So she does license with Diamond Shop and some other different kinds of printing companies, like Redbubble, I think, is how she publishes some of her artwork. She actually sets stuff up so that you can get her artwork printed onto various kinds of objects like bags and things like that. So I know she has some contracts with various people. So I was like, I was curious, are you actually, do you have a contract with these folks or what's going on? And so, she said she wasn't aware of any contract she had with them. So she went and handled it herself. And the next thing I knew, that particular painting had disappeared off of Royal Diamond Painting's website. So all I can assume is maybe they didn't know that it was a copyrighted piece of artwork. Who knows? I don't know where they get their stuff from, but I haven't been willing to buy from Royal Diamond Painting since I found that out. But I already have 2 paintings from them, which now I'm not sure if those are copyrighted either. So it's really kind of frustrating. But yeah, I like Diamond Art Club for the fact that I never have to worry about that. When I buy a Diamond Art Club piece, I know that it is appropriately licensed and the artist has been paid. So yes, Gecko Rogue. Yes. Does Gecko Rogue, or is it Rogue or is it Rouge? What was I gonna say? I know they have an Etsy store, and I'm totally gonna get one of their cross stitch kits with her artwork on it sometime soon. If I can stop buying other crap long enough to save up the money for it, I will totally buy it. But yeah, I absolutely love her artwork, and I'm Medusa the Doll Maker. So I need to definitely get that from Gecko Rouge. But I didn't know that they do diamond paintings as well. I maybe just haven't noticed that. But yeah, royal diamond painting, not a fan. I keep getting their emails, and I really need to unsubscribe because I'm not buying anything from them going forward. Just my personal thing. You can do whatever you want to with your money. I prefer to know that that when I buy a piece of artwork, that the person who created that is getting proper credit and attribution and payment. And part of that is because I make stuff myself, and I know how awful it would feel to see my artwork somewhere else, somebody making money off of something that I made, and not even have my name attached to it, let alone make the kind of money that I deserve from having made that. So totally on that boat. Oh yeah, the cross stitches. Yeah, they have at least 2 cross stitch kits on Gecko Rouge, Gecko Rose that I want. One of them is that giant gamer. Yes, the gamer piece. The gamer piece is exactly the right one, and is exactly the one I was thinking of. That is like top of my wish list right now. I wanted it forever. And I realized the other day, I was like, as much money as I have spent over the last several months on hand-dyed cross-stitch fabric and hand-dyed floss, I really could have saved up a couple of months and just bought that kit outright without any issue. And so yeah, so now I've really put a stop to buying lots of random stuff just because it's pretty, because it's like, you know what, I can just save my money and then I can get that kit that I have been wanting forever and ever and ever. So I will get it. I will get it. I might reward myself if I can get enough sales in the next couple of months. But at the moment, all of my sales are going right back into more stuff for the shop. So in fact, I just put in 2 orders with my wholesalers. I got 1 package yesterday. I'm waiting on the second package. The package I got yesterday didn't have a ton of stuff in it. I was mostly replacing stuff that had already sold in the shop. I had got a couple of new patterns from Dinky Dyes Designs, and but the box that I'm waiting on, that I'm hopefully going to get tomorrow, has a bunch of fabrics and some Krenix, and what else did I order? I got a bunch of patterns too, some Lizzie Kate and some more Plum Street samplers, and I don't even know what all I ordered. I ordered so much stuff. So that's the one I'm really excited about. And one thing I'm thinking about doing going forward, I'd already planned on putting together some DMC floss kits for some of these patterns that I'm selling. But I think what I might do, especially with things like the animal stacks patterns, I think I might do kits where you get 1 piece of fabric that's big enough for multiple pieces, because the animal stacks are really small. So I think with an 18 by 27 piece of fabric, you could stitch at least 4 of those patterns. So I'm thinking of doing these kits where you get like 4 of the animal stacks and the floss that goes with all of that, and then the 1 piece of fabric that you can use for all 4 pieces, and then you get all of that in one time, so you don't have to worry about heating it up yourself. So I'm thinking about doing stuff like that. And also, there's a new pattern I just got. Shannon Christine, I finally remembered her name, Rachel. That pattern I just got, I want to do a conversion from DMC into Dinky Dyes for that pattern, and then I'll sell that silk pack as well. DIY or Dye Moon Shop, kimono soon. Yeah, I'm not a fan of rounds. I haven't even tried another round since that first diamond painting that I did, because the second diamond painting I started was a square, and I was in love, and I haven't looked back. I do have some round diamond paintings, but I much prefer square. So I'm right with you there. I don't think I would like to go back and forth. Part of it is I much prefer not to have all the space in between the diamonds. So with the round, you're always going to have all that space. Besides the fact that I like, it's very satisfying to put the squares together and then you can tell that they're just all tight together and everything fits just like it's supposed to. It makes me happy. This patty wax is super, super sticky. It's really good. Though I am finding that I have to put more into my pen. I think I press too hard. I think that's part of it. I'm a hard presser. What can I say? Oops, that time is not even. My eyesight's not real great tonight. I'm getting like blurry eye. Yeah, Rachel, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is that especially for folks that want to get for like international folks, but just folks that want the easy peasy way. Like if you buy all the patterns for the animal stacks, the animal trios, and then you buy, like, especially if you buy them separately and you get the DMCs and all that sort of stuff, you end up with a lot more floss than you really need, because you're buying floss for this one and you're buying floss for that one, and you're really only going to need, I don't know, maybe a yard or two per chart, because they're teeny tiny charts that use like 10 or 12 colors each. So you're not using that much of each color. But if you get one pack that has all the floss that you need, then you're not going to end up with a ton of extra floss, because one skein for some of these colors will probably do multiple patterns. So I think in the long run, I think it would save folks money too. But I'm also one of those people where if I can buy a kit that's going to save me some effort, I don't mind necessarily paying a little bit more than I might otherwise pay if I buy all the components myself. But I also think it's great to be able to buy one piece of fabric that you know is going to work for all the different patterns, and that way they all match. I think that's kind of cool too. So that's part of my thinking with that. I was also thinking, I'm still working on getting some more wholesale accounts. So my hope is that in the near future, I'll also be able to get Weeks Dye Works and not Color Street, that's the nails. Classic Color Works and stuff like that, so that I'll actually be able to kit them up in what they're charted in. That would be my preference. But everything has DMC conversion, so I can start with the DMCs. And if folks are interested in getting the DMC floss, then that's totally cool. So definitely want to work on getting that together. That's probably going to happen. That may not happen until after April. We'll just have to see how the next couple of weeks go and whether I'm going to be traveling or not. So, oh, the Chinese Zodiac SAL. Oh, actually, I missed a super sticky version of Patty Wax is amazing. Highly recommend. I've been using it for a week. Oh, wow. Yeah, I thought about the super sticky. I mean, this is really sticky. I don't know that I need it more sticky than this. But I mean, I would certainly try the super sticky. I like the scentedness of this, but I think it's actually messing with my sinuses, because I can actually, now that I've been sitting and working with this for a while, I can feel that that my sinuses are getting a little raw, which might be from the talking, but I also have a tendency with perfumes and things like that to get raw sinuses, so that might be a thing. Regular and super lip balm, but my canvas is not super sticky. Yeah, I could see where that would be a problem, Kelly, because that's something that's kind of happening with these. When I first put the wax in, it'll sometimes stick to the diamond, and then I can't get the diamond off on the canvas, because this is not a super sticky canvas either. I think that's a smaller diamond. So yeah, back to the Chinese Zodiac frosted pumpkin stitchery. So I totally was going to buy the kit. I was absolutely going to buy the kit, and I didn't get to go onto the website until, I don't know, maybe it was a full hour after it went live, and they were already out of all the kits. I don't know if that's because they didn't have them when it went live or what. So now I'm trying to decide. Part of me is like, especially because for whatever reason, the kit for the Chinese Zodiac doesn't come with needles, which is not really that big a deal. But one of the things that I loved about the Animal Almanac kit was that it came with these really nice Bowen cross stitching needles. They have actually become my absolute favorite cross stitching needles. I bought like 4 more packs of them. I actually plan on carrying them in the Etsy shop, but I keep forgetting to put the listing in. But they are my favorite needles. And so I'm a little disappointed that they're not including those in this new pack, but also I don't actually need the needles, so I don't know why I'm so bothered by it. That's kind of a strange thing, but yeah, so I think they're not including as many extra goodies in the kit this time. So I might just buy the pattern and kit it up myself, especially because I actually do want to get their separate patterns for the different Chinese zodiac years. So they have, I think, the pig, the bull, and the rat now. And I think they're planning on doing the full zodiac. So I'm thinking, I mean, there's always frosted pumpkin stitchery patterns that I want. So I'm thinking what I might do is get the Chinese zodiac pattern and then a couple other patterns because you get like 15% off if you buy 5 patterns at a time. So I might do that. But yeah, probably I'm going to do the Chinese zodiac because it looks super cute and I'm all about the Chinese zodiac. They haven't shown much of a preview of it, so I'm not really sure. Not terribly sure what it's going to look like, but I like their style enough to chance it. That's why I kind of jumped in, feet first with the Animal Almanac because I really like frosted pumpkin stitcheries patterns in general. So I'm fairly certain anytime I do a mystery thing with them that it's not going to be that's going to be something that I like. It won't be something that's awful that I hate. So. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's going to be a full wheel of cute little animals. So how can you possibly go wrong? What fabric did you get for that, Rachel? Because I think it calls for just I want to say that it's sort of a like parchmenty kind of color. I don't think it's anything super bright or off the wall. I think they go with a lot of neutrals for their stuff. I keep getting messages from somebody. I don't know who's sending me messages. Oh, okay. I'll check that later. Oh, wow, it's 8:30. So yeah, I'm probably maybe another 15, 20 minutes. We can chat. I definitely need to be off the computer by 9 because if I don't get off the computer by 9, I won't go to bed at any kind of reasonable hour. And I still have some other stuff that I need to get done tonight. Rachel, I really want to use the new Stitch Along as an excuse to buy more fabric, but I need more fabric like I need a hole in the head. I really don't need more fabric. What I need to do is just be creative with the fabric that I have and, decide just to make the fabric that I have work for the SALs that I want to do, which I actually have done a pretty good job. Slightly tan leather orange. Okay, yeah, that's about what I remember. There's the fabric for the year of the dogs, the year of the animal things. I can't remember what that thing is called. That fabric I think is called Chime. It's sort of a yellowy, like a pale yellow. And I was confusing that for the SAL fabric at first. They must be like super duper popular, Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, because every time they do anything, their kits sell out like immediately. And then they're waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm curious where they're getting their stuff because I'm like, why is it taking so long for you to get your stuff? And maybe it's just the quantity. Maybe I just have no idea how much stuff they're actually getting. Ooh. I will definitely check that out. I was buying cross-stitch fabrics from My Vintage Needle Arts. I think you and I both got fabric for, was it Stiach? I think it was Stiach. You know, I totally lied the other day because I think I told somebody that, or maybe even on a video, said that I had done the Stiach on oatmeal Ada, but that I think I got that from Vintage Needle Arts. Yeah, so I must have gone on the site about 2 hours after, not 1 hour after, because when I went on Frost and Pumpkins to trade them, they were completely out of kits. I was going to get the linen kit, and they were completely out. I had totally intended to go immediately to the website when everything went live, but the whole Pacific time thing messed me up because at 10 a.m. I was available to go online, and then which would have been 10 a.m. Eastern, but they did it at 10 a.m. Pacific, and at 10 a.m. Pacific I was not available. I think I was in a meeting at work, so was not a time where I could go online and look for the kit, which made me sad. So I really wanted the kit, but honestly, I didn't need to spend the money right now anyway. Yep, that's what I thought. My Vintage Needle Arts, because I got like a cafe latte or something, and you got something relatively similar. And I enjoyed the fabric. The fabric was totally fine, but for some reason I like totally decided that it was just regular oatmeal Ada from like Michael's or something, and no, it really wasn't. I think that was actually, that piece was my first foray into dyed fabrics for cross stitch, and then that has sent me down this rabbit hole, this never-ending rabbit hole of cross stitch fabrics. Right? Okay, now I'm losing it. Like, it's not sticking at all. But yeah, and since I've like gotten the bug for knitting again, I've actually been looking for sources to get bare or undyed fiber, because now I'm all obsessed with dyeing things myself, and I'm like, I could dye my own yarn for my knitting projects. So that's probably another rabbit hole I don't need to go down. But you know me, I will probably do it. I have all this dye just waiting to be used, and the only problem is time. Like, I just don't have time to do all the things that I want to do at any given time. Just so many projects that I want to be working on, which is the real reason that I want to get this shop going and make some decent money off of it, because if creative pursuits are my livelihood, then I can do creative stuff all the time. I'll have more time to do crafts because that will be my job. And I think that would be fantastic. But mostly because I wouldn't be selling the crafts I'd be making. I'd be selling like the accessories and supplies for the crafts, which for me is a whole different thing. Like, I don't plan on selling my actual cross stitch. For me, I think that would be too stressful. I do cross stitch and I do knitting and stuff like that because it's fun and it's relaxing. And the minute I try to put a price tag on that or do that for money, I think it becomes less enjoyable for me. Whereas making dyed cloth, making dyed yarn, making needle minders and things like that, those kinds of things don't bother me at all. It doesn't like decrease my enjoyment for the hobby because it's a separate thing from the hobby, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that is kind of how I look at that kind of stuff. Oh, I can tell I'm getting tired. I can't tell what these K's are anymore. I can barely see them now. Goodness gracious. Oh wow, 3 inches. That's a lot of knitting. Yeah, the piece that I'm working on now is I think it's a diagonal shawl. It's like a super basic shawl, scarf thing. and it's excuse me, one of those that you stitch on the diagonal, and it's super simple, but I need 32 inches on the straight edge before I start decreasing. So I keep increasing for 32 inches, and I think I have 8 inches so far. And so last night I was just like, this is taking forever. And granted, I've only worked on it like 3 times, I think. So I just started it. Well, what is today, Wednesday? I think I started it at lunchtime on Monday. So I'm really I'm impatient. Is all it really is. It's going quickly enough. But part of my problem is too that every time I have to flip the work over back to the other side to get to the other needle, I actually stop and look at it and I stretch it out, and it's like, and that's taking a long time too, because for whatever reason I need to stop and look at it every time. I think part of it is because I like the way knitting looks. Crochet is like way faster for me, but knitting is more fascinating for me for whatever reason. So yeah, I'll show that knitting project the next time I do a video. I'm really debating whether I'm going to separate out the fiber stuff from the cross stitching stuff. And part of it is just so I can do like shorter videos and have less that I have to remember to talk about, because I forgot so many things on this last floss tube. I think I'm definitely, well, I'm not going to say definitely. I want to switch to a more weekly schedule versus a bi-weekly schedule. My schedule ends up being more like once every 3 weeks or so. So I want to make floss tubes more often, but I might split off the knitting stuff. It depends on how much knitting I have and crocheting and that kind of stuff I actually do. That'll be the big thing, I think, because if it's just going to be a couple minutes, and that's fine. I'll just throw that in the floss tube, assuming people don't hate it. But I feel like if I give you a warning, then you can always just kind of skip that if you don't want to watch it. Yep, and that's not sticky. Oh, actually, I did talk about the project I just started knitting. I talked about that on the tail end of my floss tube. So that little tiny like itty bitty thing that I showed is now like 6 or 8 inches long. So it's getting there. It's maybe a third of the way. In fact, I'm probably gonna work on it some tonight after I get off of here. So, and I think I might have to make that sooner rather than later. My voice is trying to go. My eyes are super tired. Yeah, you probably do stitch enough for a weekly video. Oh, awesome, Kelly. I didn't even notice that comment. Yeah, it's knitting is a new thing. And Rachel, I don't know, or actually both of you, since you like knitting, Kelly, I started watching this podcast recently. She's her channel is called Little Drops of Wonderful. I forget what her name is, but she lives in the UK. She has an awesome accent. I love listening to her talk, and she has the cutest little videos. She does a podcast where she talks about all her projects and everything, and she's just super fun to watch. And then she also does these videos called Woollality TV, Wollity, Woollality, where she kind of shows her projects in the wild, and she does some videos where you see her working on some things, and she's super fun. I love her a lot. And she has a Ravelry account where she shares some of her patterns and things like that. So it's really fun. And it's interesting because she's like a super professional video maker, like creator. But she keeps saying that she's not a terribly experienced knitter, but she knits so fast, and she makes these gorgeous socks all the time. It's just really cool. So y'all should check her out. So that's Little Drops of Wonderful. I just really love her for the accent. That's one of my biggest things. Wow, that totally didn't stick to the pin at all. Aw, Luna. Yeah, Luna's still doing sneezy coffee stuff. Yeah, we all watch Rachel because Rachel's awesome. I really want to see what that baby blanket you're making looks like. I want to see a better picture of it because I think you just posted like a quick little Instagram picture and it was hard to tell what it actually looks like. Poor Luna. I'm gonna have to see if I can do something to help her with that hairball or whatever she's got. Because I don't know if y'all can hear her when she coughs, but it sounds pretty awful to me. Okay. I think I'm gonna let that be the last of my diamonds for tonight because I am really having a hard time even telling where these things go at this point. I probably need to put on my readers, but I'm being stubborn. I don't want to put on my old lady glasses. And I have to put on my old lady glasses when I cross stitch because I can't see, especially if I'm doing like 28 or 32 count fabric. I can't see the holes to stitch anymore. Oh, you started over since this morning. Why'd you have to start over? It was looking really awesome from what you had that you posted on Instagram. Goodness, sorry, y'all. It's getting to be that time. Getting close to bedtime. Let's see, I don't have my knitting here next to me either. I don't have anything fun to show y'all right here because I did not plan. I guess we can, I'll show you here. These are the cutest little things. I had actually messaged, what is her name at Patty Wax? Oh, too small. Okay. Is there a way you have to place the square ones? You don't have to, I mean, mostly it's just about getting the square ones, the square diamonds lined up with each other. And usually you can tell how they're supposed to be lined up because this particular canvas, I realized it moved on me. This particular canvas actually has black lines in between the colored squares, so you just kind of line it up with that. And the other thing that helps to make sure that everything's getting lined up like it's supposed to is when you have them lined up correctly, you start placing them, and as you fill it in, they really actually kind of push each other into the right space. Yeah, that's a problem with some of the lower quality kits, Kelly. I think if you go with a Diamond Art Club or something that's a little bit higher quality, you have less of that issue because that's one of the issues with some companies. I've had that happen with Huacan. It's happening a lot with this canvas too, where some of them are actually not square. The diamonds are sort of like rectangular instead of square, and so if you don't put them in the right direction, they don't fit quite right. We totally should Skype soon, Rachel. That would be super fun. We could Skype and we could craft together. That would be really fun. Skyping would be awesome. We should do like a Stitch and Bitch Skype. We should plan that with Heike. And we can just all sit around with our tea and our coffee and whatever stitching, whether we want to do cross stitch or we want to do knitting or whatever, and just sit around and Skype and chat. And that would be the most fun ever. I think that would be awesome. We'll have to plan that sometime. I'll either get up super early or stay up really late so that we can make it a convenient time for the two of y'all, since y'all are almost on the same time, almost in the same time zone. Okay, folks. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. It is about 8:45 here. And like I said, I have some things I need to do before I get going to bed. But thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate you chatting, especially Rachel. It was so fun. It's been a while since I got to chat with you, so this was super, super fun. Kelly, thanks so much for coming in. I'm glad to have you here. Everybody else who stopped in. 3 a.m. too late on a Friday. like 3 a.m. going into Saturday or 3 a.m. Thursday night into Friday? Because Thursday night into Friday would be a problem. But depending on how tired, well, I could maybe take a nap and then get up at 3 a.m. going into Saturday. That would be, I could probably get that done. No problem. Hosting is always so easy. Y'all make it so easy. I appreciate y'all coming in and chatting with me. So we will do it again. I don't know if I'll be able to do this every week, but I am going to try to make it a more regular thing to come in and chat on Wednesdays, especially because I need to get some of these diamond paintings done, and I find that I have a lot easier time working on it when I have folks to chat with. So we'll do it again. Yeah, definitely. If you enjoyed this, then if you want to see more of this or my cross stitchy stuff, hit that subscribe button, and you know what to do with the bell if you're interested. Oh yeah, I saw that you're doing a Thursday and that's if it's like tomorrow Thursday, I might be able to do that. But only because I'm planning on taking Friday off at this point. So normally I wouldn't be able to, because it's too early for me to get up before work, and it's too late for me to stay up before work. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can do a like timeshare bedtime thing. We'll see. I'll see what I can do, because I think that would be super fun. So, well, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I hope you all have a really great night, and I hope to see you again next time. Sweet. Yes, send me the link. I'll chat with you later. Bye.